All right, so a couple of months ago, I was going to do a video about judging, and I ended up making it a post for Psychology Today. I had meant to do a video to support that since then, and I never really um, got around to it, unfortunately, until now. So, and in a way, I'm glad about that because in between that time and today, maybe a little less than a month ago, a couple weeks ago, I came across a tweet that really related to this. And the tweet said, sit and watch your thoughts. You'll begin to see how random, unkind, and judgmental they can sometimes be. And that was from Everyday Mindfulness. So there's a few points I want to make in doing this video. The first is that everyone judges, so don't be too hard on yourself. I know a lot of people feel bad about being judgmental. I know I am a judgmental person. It feels that way sometimes because I do sit and listen to my thoughts a lot, and I make a lot of really horrible judgments. I'm trying not to be so judgmental of myself as well as much less judgmental of other people. My second point is that being judgmental is evolutionary. I make that point in the post, and maybe you read it or maybe you will read it. Evolutionary psychology seems to indicate that we are naturally judgmental, that helps us put people in groups like us or that they're not like us, and that's part of the purpose. But just because something is natural or normal does not mean it's healthy. I say that to my students all the time, that the American diet is quite unhealthy, but it's also very normal, right? A lot of Americans eat unhealthy. So, the third point I wanted to make is even though we're all judgmental, it's evolutionary, and we're trying to be less so, we can learn a lot about ourselves from our judgments. So, Carl Jung, one of my favorite writers on psychology, says that he actually has two quotes that I really love that relate to judging others. The first one is, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. I really love that quote. I think I might like this second quote better, and I actually just came across this quote recently, and that is, projections change the world into the replica of one's unknown face. And what he's saying there is we can really get to know the unknown parts of ourselves by looking at how we judge others. And I think that's important. And then the final point that I wanted to make is that, just to kind of sum it up, others may be judging you, but just like your judgments say a lot about you, their judgments say a lot about them. So sometimes when others are judging you, it really says more about them than it does about you. And what I mean by that isn't that, oh, they're a judging person, because we're all judging people. What I mean by that, I'll give an example from my dreams class. I might have used this example before. I definitely do in classes. So I teach a dreams class, and part of the dreams class is students interpreting other students' dreams, where a student will present a dream in class, and then we practice interpreting it in class. And a lot of times somebody will discuss an interpretation of a dream, and I'll be like, I don't get that at all. And what they're really doing is they're projecting what these symbols mean to them into their interpretation. So what their interpretation is saying more about them than it is the dreamer. Just like a lot of people's judgments say more about their internal shadow or the parts of themselves that they don't like, it's saying more about that than it is about you. So also, people probably aren't judging us as much as we think, or hopefully, like us, or like those of you that are going to try this, they're going to render their judgments weightless, meaning that I don't have to believe the judgments that I make about other people. I can just recognize, oh, that's like an automatic thing that happens because of evolution, and I don't have to pay attention to it. And then I can gain insight into myself from those judgments. So that sums up this video on judging, and thanks for watching.